If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. Never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Everything is relative in this world, where change alone endures. During a conversation, listening is as powerful as loving. The elegance under pressure is the result of fearlessness. Death is unstoppable. One must face it as a fact of life. Always be friendly. Always be kind, like the most beautiful flower that you can find. Dining with the king. Your attire, attitude, and mentality must change. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Respect yourself, and others will respect you. To be alone is to be different. To be different is to be alone. To subdue an enemy without fighting is the greatest of skills. There's no clarity. There was never meant to be clarity. The penalty for procrastination is the loss of hopes and dreams. Great things are done by a series of small things brought together. Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. I could die for you, but I couldn't and wouldn't live for you. Don't chase. Elevate your game and be someone worth chasing after. There is no truth, Stephanie said mistressly, only perspectives. Generally in war, the best policy is to take a state intact. To ruin it is inferior to this. If you remember me, then I don't care if everyone else forgets. Everything that is done in this world is done by hope. Time cannot put anything in your hands until you let go of the time. Almost nobody dances sober unless they happen to be insane. In order to form an immaculate member of a flock of sheep, one must, above all, be a sheep. Challenges in life can either enrich you or poison you. You are the one who decides. The inner fire is the most important thing mankind possesses. The truth doesn't cost anything, but a lie could cost you everything. The scholar does not consider gold and jade to be precious treasures, but loyalty and good faith. It is said we learn more from our failures than our successes. Be willing to leave the ground behind if you want to fly. It's enough for me to be sure that you and I exist at this moment. Follow your heart. You may go astray, but your life will find its direction somehow. Man is an animal who has to live in a lie in order to live at all. Never say anything about yourself you don't want to come true. Vulnerability is the least celebrated emotion in our society. The tragedy of life is what dies inside a man while he lives. There's no such thing in anyone's life as an unimportant day. When something can be read without effort, great effort has gone into its writing. Everyone who got to where they are had to begin where they were. Fez est ab host docere. One should learn even from one's enemies. Unless you enter the tiger's lair, you cannot get hold of the tiger's cubs. The most important thing about a technology is how it changes people. Always blow your own trumpet. Blowing someone else's is unhygienic. So the important thing in a military operation is victory, not persistence. The whole secret lies in confusing the enemy so that he cannot fathom our real intent. Beware of the small things. A small leak can sink a great ship. Judging is the cause that creates the effect of choosing. Truth is a straight line you sometimes need to curve. You should know that by now. Without education, you're not going anywhere in this world. Prioritize your physical and mental health. They are your most valuable assets. I finally figured out the only reason to be alive is to enjoy it. For we can only know that we know nothing, and a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Bloom as if you want to make the whole world beautiful. Do not fear the thorns in your path, for they draw only corrupt blood. The perfect man uses his mind as a mirror. It grasps nothing. It regrets nothing. It receives, but does not keep. Every act of goodness is born from our desire to be happy. If you can feel the future, then you are about to experience it. Anyone who does anything creative is always going to want to change. Thus the expert in battle moves the enemy and is not moved by him. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Growing up is losing some illusions in order to acquire others. Strange what being forced to slow down could do to a person. Sometimes your circle decreases in size, but increases in value. Maturity is when you stop complaining and making excuses and start making changes. A human being is part of a whole called by us the universe. Sometimes one pays most for the things one gets for nothing. In the end, you have to choose whether or not to trust someone. Once friends as batchmates, but now different batches divide us. A person's limitations are only measured by their drive to succeed. Attack is the secret of defense. Defense is the planning of an attack. We need to be fit and ready for anything that might come our way. That knowledge, which stops at what it does not know, is the highest knowledge. We have to speak the truth always, at any cost, and no matter what. Don't fast forward through life. You'll miss all the good stuff along the way. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Birth is not the beginning. Death is not the end. It is the certainty that they possess the truth that makes men cruel. Humanity must forgive humanity, for only then can we be humane. I like people who refuse to speak until they are ready to speak. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. One defends when his strength is inadequate. He attacks when it is abundant. He who steals a belt buckle pays with his life. He who steals a state gets to be a feudal lord. Truth is neither objectivity nor the balanced view. Truth is a selfless subjectivity. Great wisdom is generous. Petty wisdom is contentious. Great speech is impassioned. Small speech cantankerous. I believe in spectacles, but I think eyes necessary too. Always know the difference between what you're getting and what you deserve. So in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and strike at what is weak. I never fail. It's just that the people around me succeed more than I. No persons are more frequently wrong than those who will not admit they are wrong. When we fail, our pride supports us, and when we succeed, it betrays us. Sing your life. Any fool can think of words that rhyme. Serious thinkers are few, and the world is ruled by crude ideas. The gods are fond of the cryptic and dislike the evident. It's important in life. If you don't give a shit, it can help you a lot. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. In the end, you should always do the right thing, even if it's hard. I kept always 2 books in my pocket, one to read, one to write in. When we are most alone is when we embrace another's loneliness. I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens.